And welcome back to another episode of Dogs on the Couch, where everybody's allowed to have an opinion. It does not matter if you played the game you were watching. So you're allowed to have an opinion as well. I'll be. We finally got to see what it looked like for Shedeur Sanders after a full week's worth of preparation, a full week's worth of getting first team reps and having a game plan, kind of designed around him and what he likes to do. First, let me go about it like this. 11 for 20, little bit over 50% completion, not something that, just go screaming to the rooftops about. However, the 11 for 20 did result in over 200 passing yards. I think it was like 208. He had the interception on a very poor decision to throw the football, kind of being so locked on the receiver that you don't see the defender that's standing right there, literally standing right there. And I think he had one other ball that could have been intercepted. But I think for the most part, that was the bad, if you will. He had a very poor throw on that interception. And I think he had another pass that could have been picked off as well. But there wasn't any moving backwards in the pocket. Didn't seem to be any struggles to get in and out of the huddle. Yeah. I mean, again, basically the things that, people were placing on Shedeur's shoulders after that one half of football last week. Well, the majority of those things that they placed on his shoulders from that game, they were non-existent for the most part in his first official NFL start. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything that's just, it didn't blow you away. It wasn't 22 for 30 with 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. It wasn't that. But let's get into everything that it was. The sad part about this is that there's still going to be people who downplay this performance, even more so than just acknowledging the few errors that were made. They're going to try to say, well, yeah, the majority of his 200 passing yards, he only threw the ball 5 yards to, Dylan Sampson, and Sampson ran these 66 yards. So, I mean, it wasn't like he really, true, but we see that every week. Not only that, we also saw a play where Dylan Gabriel could have had a 66-yard touchdown, but he couldn't complete the screen pass. He threw the ball over the guy's head and into the third row. So, as simplistic as that throw is, and, the majority of the work is being done by the running back as opposed to the quarterback, at the end of the day, the quarterback still has to be able to deliver a catchable ball. And frankly, Shedeur was able to do that. In the exact situation that we were able to see Dylan Gabriel in, and for some odd reason, he was not able to complete that pass. And even afterwards, you see him tap himself on the chest like, yeah, that's me. Because, I mean, clearly it's you. The guy standing there wide open. There's nothing but green grass in front of him. The offensive lineman has literally pancaked and is laying on top of the defender. So you got nothing but green grass. You're going to score here. Gabriel throws the ball over the top of the guy into the third row. With Shedeur, he delivered an accurate ball, 66-yard touchdown run. What do you know? Might be the longest scoring play of the year for the Browns. There's so much, I'm all over the place. I really don't even have no notes because I'm just kind of freestyling. I woke up. I had to get this done. I had to get this going because I'm pretty sure there are going to be a bunch of hot takes that come out of this. A bunch of people still trying to downplay him. Again, two big time throws that come to mind in this game by Shedeur Sanders. The one to Isaiah Bond where he's getting the pressure the same way that the Ravens were sending the pressure to him. And of course, without really having any practice reps with the ones or anything like that, maybe struggling, to pick up that blitz or, knowing precisely where to go or what to do. Well, in this game, they send the blitz. He recognizes, manipulates the pocket, kind of escapes to the right, and then makes this spectacular throw on the run, an absolute dot to Isaiah Bond. And if Isaiah Bond had a little bit more balance, he would have been able to score on that play. I think he got tackled on the 3-yard line or something like that. And something that I found very interesting about that throw, when he makes that throw, they cut to Myles Garrett on the sideline. Myles Garrett simultaneously as he's watching Shedeur make this play and he sees that pass and it's completed down there, he does this. Basically like, oh my God, did you just see that? I'm sorry. I have not seen Myles Garrett look like that with any throw that any other quarterback that we've trotted out this year on any throw that they've made. I have not seen Myles Garrett react in this fashion of, oh my, did you just see that? That's a game, that right there is a game changer. Did you see that? Like, that was crazy. Y'all looking at that, right? Blows my mind. That's very interesting. It's very entailing to me that was the reaction that you're getting from your star defensive player who's making a case this year for not only just defensive player of the year, but they talking about this guy being arguably one of the best pass rushers, if not the best pass rusher of all time. And this guy is giving a reaction like that to this 5th round rookie. Another throw to Jerry Jeudy. Beautiful, manipulating the pocket, buying some time, keeping your eyes down the field, and then delivering an absolute dot to Jerry Jeudy. When all Jerry Jeudy has to do, and I still think Jerry Jeudy is a decent wide receiver. I think he's a serviceable, solid NFL wide receiver. Other people think worse of him than I do. Even with this boneheaded play that he makes where it's like there's two defenders in front of you after you make the catch. There's 2 defenders in front of you, 1 behind you. After you've made the catch, in my opinion, it's like either just put your head down and try to gain a couple extra yards and go down, or just get out of, if you don't want to get hit, just step out of bounds. My thing is, at that point, you've got the yardage. Just secure the field position, secure the ball, and secure the field position. But instead, he slows up, try to do some jukey, whatever he was trying to do, I don't know. And then the defender comes from behind him and punches the ball out. So squandered away, a scoring opportunity there of an amazing play, by your fifth round quarterback. So just being honest, those two plays alone is something that we have not seen from Dillon Gabriel in his 6 or 7 starts that he's had up until this point. Has he had some flashes of certain little things here and there? Yes. But just that extreme dynamic ability, a play that'll make a Myles Garrett do one of these numbers, we have not seen one play like that from Dillon Gabriel the entire time that he's been going out there. And that's no slight to Dillon. I don't have a predetermined requisite about Dillon. I'm not for Dillon. I'm not against Dillon. I don't know what he is. And I think it's hard for me to tell what he is in Stefanski's system, just under Stefanski's watch. It's hard for me to get an accurate assessment of anybody under Stefanski's watch. I will continue to say that and support that. But there are just some things that if you're watching football, if you're actually watching the games, there are some things that you're clearly seeing that is like, this kid is a football player, man. This kid's a quarterback. This is a quarterback right here. Like, this is a guy, and even if it's not, this is a guy, you can look at it and say, well, he at least has the potential. He has the potential to be a guy, you know what I mean? But you have to actually be watching in order to be able to see that, you know what I mean? You got to be watching. And, honestly, I would say even not just watching the Browns. You should kind of be watching what's going on around the league so you could be able to compare your team, your quarterbacks, your wide receivers, your linemen, everybody. You could be able to compare that to the contemporaries around the league, and use that as like a measuring stick, looking at some of the better teams, being like, all right, well, maybe this is what we should be looking for, when we're trying to find a quarterback. You got to actually be watching these games. So as I'm saying that, let me play a small clip from Jason Lloyd here. And this is after the Jets game. That if I'm not mistaken, this is after the Jets game. I think they actually lost this game, but they had put up a lot of points and different things. No, you know what? I think they actually won this game. Had put up a nice amount of points. And the panel is kind of asking Jason Lloyd, like, wow, if the Jets can do that and they don't have any talent, then why do we keep using the Browns not having any talent as the excuse as to why they have to look so bad every week when they go out there? Because, we hadn't seen anything of Shedeur Sanders at this point or anything like that. So let's kind of hear Jason Lloyd, give his rebuttal to the guy about why are the Jets able to kind of look decent as bad as they are. Bad as we know they don't have no talent. How is it that they're able to, look decent then, if that's the case? Basically saying, like, if they could do it, why the Browns can't do it?
As bad as it is, was way better than I've seen the Browns offense in 2 years. Why?
I don't know. I didn't watch the game.
I didn't watch the game. Sounds like because
Very quick clip, but I thought it was very important. This is Jason Lloyd, one of the popular beat writer people, you know what I'm saying? And you got a guy asking him, like, well, look, man, I'm watching these sorry Jets that traded all their players away. They don't have no talent. I'm watching them put up points and win. Why the Browns can't do that? Well, I don't know. I didn't watch the game. You didn't watch the game? You didn't watch the game? You didn't watch the game? Oh, well, that doesn't surprise me. When I hear you saying some of the garbage that you be saying, like about how Shedeur is not, well, he's just not ready. Kevin's saying that he's not ready. He's not ready. There's nothing that's being done that could say that he's ready. He's not ready to be an NFL starter. He's just not ready. He's not ready. And for the people that are saying that he's ready, they're just delusional. They don't know what they're talking about. He's not ready. But buddy, you don't even watch NFL games. You don't even watch the games. That's not the only clip. Like if I'm searching through, I can find other clips of other games where he's saying, I don't know, I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the game. If you're not watching any of these NFL games, man, why should I be taking your word for anything? Because you're not watching the games. So why should I believe what you're saying? Like you don't watch the games. Like, and that's you admitting it. I didn't watch the game. Well, then how do you have so much football knowledge, man, if you're not watching none of these games, bro? I don't like make it make sense to me. I don't understand that. So I thought that was, important to kind of put that out there, because this is where a lot of people, again, will get their information or their talking points. They'll get them from a guy like Jason Lloyd, and they want to, spew, well, Shedeur Sanders isn't ready. He isn't ready. And then they're getting it from a guy like that who doesn't watch games. You know what I'm saying? So you disseminating this information to the public, and you don't even watch the games. You don't even know what you're talking about. Like, you don't watch the games. So what I will say is this. When you bring all of it together, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent, what I come away from that game with is the narrative that Shedeur Sanders isn't ready is false. So Jason Lloyd and Megan Gavin and the Kikubualas and all of these other retards that's been pushing that narrative down our throat about how he's not ready, there's no conspiracy, he's not ready. Well, what I saw from that guy in live, real NFL game time against a real NFL football team, what about him didn't look ready? He looked ready to me. Not only did he look ready to me, but he looked ready with only 1 week of preparation. So, like, Dylan Gabriel, mind you, who's statistically the worst quarterback in the NFL right now, he was deemed ready, first of all. And then second of all, he been getting all the first team reps since, he been getting, and not only that, he been getting first team reps since he got off the plane. But especially since he was promoted to the starting quarterback position, he got all the first team reps. Nobody else get no first team reps except him. He the only one get first team reps. Every game plan is designed around him and what he likes to do, et cetera, et cetera. So we've done all of that with him. He's statistically the worst quarterback in the league. This other guy with only 1 week of preparation, only 1 week. Only 1 week of practice reps with the ones since the entire time that he's been here. Only 1 week. He went out there and he looked ready, in my opinion. Did he look like Patrick Mahomes? No. Did he look like Josh Allen? No. But he looked ready. At the bare minimum, he looked ready. He looked like an NFL. He looked the part of an NFL quarterback. So, like, for example, the way when Jackson Dart kind of took over at quarterback for the Giants, you could kind of see the spark and it kind of looked, you like, oh yeah, it might be something here. Respectfully, that's what it looked like with Shedeur. It's like, okay, wait a minute, like, wait, whoa. Well, there might be something here. We could be on to something with this. Truth be told, his numbers could have looked even better had we not been doing so much of the gimmick Wildcat. Now, it's a double-edged sword, okay? Because, first of all, it's not the first time we've used the Wildcat. We were using it in the Miami Dolphins game. I think we used it a little bit differently in the Dolphins game. But for the most part, it's pretty much the same. We got into the red zone. If we get close, we just going to run the Wildcat. Okay, so for the most part. However, in this game, we was running Wildcat even when we weren't in the red zone. There would just be, 1st and 10, middle of the field. And we run, we take Shedeur out and run the Wildcat. Those Wildcats, I didn't necessarily understand. So I'm not going to go as far as to do the full conspiracy theory of the reason we was running the Wildcat is so that Shedeur couldn't get credit for any of the touchdown, like get credit for a passing touchdown or something like that. Because the reason that people are going to have these conspiracy theories is because when you had Dylan Gabriel, you would take Quinshawn out the game and then do 3 straight pass plays with Dylan Gabriel. The only time that you was running the ball when we would get in them short situations like that, and you was for sure running the ball, was like you started doing that in the Dolphins game. When Myles Garrett came out and said, I'd like to see us run the ball a little more. Because there was too many times where 3rd and short, 4th and short, whatever, or 3rd and goal, 4th and goal, whatever, from the 2 or the 3 yard line, you take Quinshawn Judkins out and you do 3 straight pass plays and then you got to kick a field goal. So that's the reason that those conspiracy theories are going to be alive, because you can't stop people's eyes. You can't make them unsee what they saw already. They already saw you take Quinshawn out of the game and do 3 straight pass plays from the 2 yard line with Dylan Gabriel. But with Shedeur, you didn't give him an opportunity to do that. Me personally, I don't necessarily care that much. I'm not about to go that deep into it, because you get to the red zone, hey man, however you got to score a touchdown, that's just how you score the touchdown. And if it worked, it worked. Just like how with the tush push with the Eagles, they get close. If that play works, it works. What's the need to do anything else for? If the play work, if you found something and it works, then do it. The only way I would be upset with doing the Wildcat so much is if it wasn't working, if it didn't work, and then they continued to try to do it. But the fact that it worked, well, I don't necessarily have a problem with. I don't care. I don't have a problem with you doing that, man, because at the end of the day, you was able to score off of that. So, hey, run the Wildcat then. The only thing that I would caution is just, if by some chance, Stefanski, you end up going back to Dylan Gabriel, which I think is going to be extremely hard to do. If by chance you go back to Dylan Gabriel, I just want to see a bunch of the Wildcat. So, like, when we get down in the scoring range, don't leave Dylan in the game. Take him out and run the Wildcat. Do the exact same thing that you was doing when Shedeur was in there. Don't put Dylan back in, and then when we get to the 9 yard line, you got Dylan throwing the ball. Nope. Take him out, run the Wildcat. Exactly how you did it when Shedeur was in there. That would be the only time that I would jump on the conspiracy theory, because then you're clearly showing there's a difference based on what quarterback is in the game. Because when one quarterback is in, you consistently run Wildcat and don't give him a chance to throw a touchdown pass. But when the other quarterback is in, you throwing the ball instead of running the Wildcat. That's when I would jump on bandwagon with the conspiracy theories. But, up until then, I'm not mad at it, because it generated points. So however you got to score touchdowns, the most important part is scoring the touchdown, not how you score the touchdown. As long as you score the touchdown, that's pretty much all that matters to me. Okay. Now, really quickly, what I do want to get into is some more contradictions from, who these people who are supposed to be these outstanding beat reporter, know-it-all writer people, you know what I'm saying, all this other kind of garbage, who disseminate this crap to the public and have them spewing stuff. And it creates a lot of friction, tension, and just, a back and forth banter between fans, instead of everybody just, getting kind of along on the same page. So here go Daryl Ryder, who's finna blatantly lie, because we lost against the Jets. Daryl Ryder was like, "Oh, everybody's got to go. Everybody's got to be fired. They got to get. I don't know how you keep this. I don't know how you do this." But then after this game, that Shedeur go out there and win, he want to try to say, "Oh, I've been steadfast all year long by saying that Kevin and Andrew might be okay." I'm gonna just let him talk to y'all himself. I believe this is the first clip. Let me make sure.
Andy, matches their win total from a year ago with 6 games to play. So I have been steadfast in saying that I believe that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are coming back next year, and I still believe that. And I think today goes a long way towards making that a reality.
So, third down.
I've been steadfast on saying that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry will be coming back, and I think today goes a long way to support that. Well, that's stupid, man. Because first of all, if that's no, hold on, wait a minute. Before I even break it down, man, let me play the clip. Because he said he's been steadfast all year long, saying that Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski are coming back. Okay, let's just go right back to when we lost to the Jets. This is literally 2 weeks ago when we lost to the Jets. This is 2 weeks ago, so 14 days. 14 days ago, this is what the same Daryl Ryder, that same guy, 14 days ago, this is what he said about Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski.
Browns ownership really has no choice. They have to fire everybody. You cannot run this back. It's unacceptable. Okay, so they finally scored 20 points in a game, second time this season, fifth time since the start of last season. Okay, that's 26 games that they've played. You can't run this back, Andy. You can't bring Kevin back. You can't bring Andrew Berry back. You can't trust Andrew Berry to find your franchise quarterback. And frankly, you can't trust Kevin Stefanski at this point.
So let's get this together right fast because, buddy, you literally just said that you've been steadfast all year long with saying that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry will be back next year. But, bro, just 2 weeks ago, you said they had to be fired, that you got to clean house. There's no way that you could bring them back. But then all of a sudden, when you get a start from Shedeur Sanders and you get a win and your offense has looked the best that it's looked all year long up under Shedeur. You've gotten your longest pass play completions under Shedeur. You've gotten the most points scored out of your offense, not the team as a total, just the offense, with Shedeur under center. I got one else for you. Since 1995, the first rookie quarterback for the Cleveland Browns to start and win their first game. Because we love to do these records since 99. We love to do that. We do that all the time with Kevin, right? To prove that he's a good coach. Well, he's the first coach since 99 to get a playoff win. He's the first coach since 99 to do this. Okay, well, if we're going to do that to show why Kevin's a good head coach, well, then, Shedeur's the first quarterback since 95 to be a rookie quarterback, start for the Browns and win. But you would tell us how he's not good and he's not ready and he's a fifth rounder. And well, that fifth rounder just broke a record. Like, you know how Kevin records at 99 and it's the super low bar, but we don't really care. Because, he did it. Well, so did Shedeur, man. First rookie QB since 95, man, to start and win, not be a loser. So as of right now, Shedeur is undefeated as a starter. As of right now, as Shedeur is the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, he's undefeated. Then you hear the guy say, "Oh, you can't trust Andrew Berry to pick your franchise quarterback." Well, I don't know. We don't know that. I don't know. Because what if Shedeur is? What if Shedeur? I know people don't want that to be the case. Oh, he's fifth round. Oh, he's not that good. Oh, he's not good. He's not good. He's not ready. But from what we saw out there, and apparently from what Myles Garrett saw as well, you could tell with his reaction, we don't know. You might have a franchise quarterback. We don't know. And a part of the reason that we don't know is the guy hasn't been given any opportunities. He hasn't even been given, up until this past week, he hasn't even been given practice reps with the first team. So how on earth could we find out if he's a franchise quarterback or not when you don't even give him practice reps with the first team? You just immediately was like, no, our quarterback is in 2026. And you think that you're going to take a quarterback from 2026, put him in with the same team that you say is no offensive line that's terrible, no wide receivers that's terrible, and somehow you think that Mendoza or Ty Simpson or Dante Moore, you think one of these guys is going to come in and just be lighting it up with the receivers that you say can't catch and that they trash and that you want, y'all want to get Jerry Jeudy out of here. So if you get Jerry Jeudy out of here, all you got left is Cedric Tillman. You got Isaiah Bond, Cedric Tillman, and I don't know who else. Maybe David Bell. Is he on the practice squad? I don't know. That's who you gonna have Ty Simpson and Dante Moore throwing the ball to? I don't come on, man. You gotta make that make sense. And then you think that they about to, or Mendoza that's who they throwing the ball to, and you think they about to come in and just look spectacular? Highly doubt that. I highly, highly doubt that. But if you could get something out of Shedeur while you got him on the roster with him now, instead of taking a quarterback next year, well, now you can get offensive linemen, you can get wide receivers. Because if Shedeur could look okay to decent with these wide receivers that he has now, making an off-schedule perfect throw to Isaiah Bond, putting the ball on Jerry Jeudy, and then it's Jerry Jeudy. It's up to him to secure the ball after that. You can't fumble the ball, Jerry Jeudy. So, I don't, you saying that Andrew Berry can't find the quarterback when I don't know. He might have. The only way to be able to tell if that's the quarterback or not, the kid's got to be able to get out there and be given a fair shot, which is the only thing, truthfully, that the Sanders supporters have been asking for, because they were so quick to say he's terrible, he's trash after that one half of football against the Ravens. Oh, see, everything that we said about him as to why he's not ready and why he was drafted in the 5th round. This is why. You saw it all right there. See, he's running backwards and he's doing this and he's doing that, and you see it. Well, really quickly, again, this is so crazy because when it's Shedeur in one half of football, they're extremely quick to point out every little small detail. But let's hear a few things about what Dillon Gabriel's performances has been looking like. And this is over the course of 6 or 7 weeks with all of the preparation, the game plan designed around you. You're getting all the first team reps. Nobody else getting no first team reps. Let's hear a little bit about what Dillon Gabriel's been able to put together and, his statistics and where they sit him.
That I want to point out here. Gabriel is the lowest graded passer in the NFL with a minimum of 100 attempts. He has the worst uncatchable throw rate, second lowest big time throw rate, third worst in terms of the most turnover worthy plays. He has the lowest positive grade rate, and he's the second worst in rhythm throwing.
So he's the worst quarterback in the league, is what you're saying. Easily.
And that track.
The 4 was.
So, again, because. And the reason that they kind of going along, because you can't go against the numbers. You throw in the most uncatchable balls. You're the worst in big time throws, and you one of the worst in rhythm throwing. And a couple other statistics, he's the absolute worst in. And this is the stuff that, if you're talking about a guy being a franchise quarterback. Well, these are the things that you're going to have to be at least middle of the pack in, like big-time throws. You can't be last and then think that you're going to be some franchise quarterback. The catchable throws, you can't be the number one uncatchable ball thrower. That can't be you can't be a franchise quarterback and you throw the most uncatchable balls in the league. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Not to mention you got the lowest, yards per pass attempt. Nothing about Dillon Gabriel, not only does it not say franchise quarterback, it struggles to say NFL quarterback, just starting NFL quarterback. It struggles to say that. And again, it's hard for me because I don't want to make it seem like I just don't like Dillon Gabriel, because I have to keep pointing out, under Stefanski's watch, it's hard for me to tell if somebody's good or if they're not. So this is just Dillon Gabriel when he's under Stefanski's watch. Now, when Gabriel gets up under somebody, if he by chance gets up under somebody else's watch, he may end up looking better than what he looked now. But I'm just saying, as far as what he looked like since he's been up under Stefanski's watch. So if we can watch 6-7 weeks worth of a guy throwing the most uncatchable balls. He worst in big time throws, lowest yards per pass attempt. If we watching this week in and week out, we watching him throw the ball to nobody in the flats and then point over there as if somebody's there and they're not, and then you take a safety because you intentionally grounded the ball from your own end zone. We watched him the same way Shedeur threw that bad pass and it was intercepted. We've watched him do that as well. We've watched him throw the ball, a simple screen pass. A guy might be 8 yards away from you, 8 to 10 yards away from you. Not 10 yards is a stretch. He's probably 8 yards away from you. And instead of you just throwing the ball to him so he could run and score like Shedeur did with Dylan Sampson, you threw the ball 3 feet over his head and into the third row. We've been watching that for 6 or 7 weeks, and somehow we still cling to this guy and make excuses and, oh, he's a rookie and it's okay and, he's developing and blah, 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 and all this other garbage. And it's not really that bad. But then we saw one half of Shedeur with no preparation, no nothing. Oh, we just, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. You should never play again. You even had people like Nick Wright saying, this last start against the Raiders, this start right here against the Raiders for Shedeur, this is a one and done. You get this one shot. If you go out there and you stink it up, you'll never get a chance for an NFL team ever again. But we weren't saying that about Dylan Gabriel. You didn't say that about Dylan Gabriel. And he going out there being statistically the worst trash quarterback in the league every week. But we don't say that about him, though. Not to mention he don't have no physical tools to be a good quarterback either. So he's not tall, he's not strong, he's not big, he's not athletic. He don't have a big arm. He's got little hands. And his super processing ability, I think the Monstars sucked his powers away. Pause. I don't think he he put his hand on the football, and the next thing you know, his super processing ability went away. And he don't even have that anymore. So, again, if we've been watching 6-7 weeks of Dylan Gabriel out there looking like that garbage, it didn't take long for me to be looking at what Shedeur was out there doing and see a couple of the throws and decisions that he was able to make, to move, manipulate the pocket, keep his eyes downfield, and make, extremely accurate throws. Extremely accurate throws, putting the ball right there, right on the guy. Extremely accurate throws. So for all of the people who are going to, again, try to criticize his performance and say that it wasn't, it really wasn't all of that, and whoop, whoop, whoop. It's just like, yes, truth be told, yes, it was, especially when we comparing it to the other option that we have at quarterback right now. I don't understand how you could watch the two of those guys perform and then somehow come away with the notion that, well, Shedeur still isn't necessarily ready, or, maybe, Dylan will still give us a... Nah, if you actually watched the games, then I'm sorry, man. Like, it's clear that Shedeur is better than Dylan Gabriel. And it's gonna hurt for people to admit that. Like, it's gonna hurt for them to admit it, but honestly, man, if you want to save your credibility, you should probably just admit it. The 5th round pick is better than the 3rd round pick, man, in pretty much every aspect of the game. And then last but not least, I want to get into a little bit here because I gave my conspiracy theory, about Myles Garrett and why he potentially came back and signed a contract and all that other type of thing. Even the part where in the preseason game, and Shedeur's mic'd up and he go over and he talking to Myles Garrett a little bit. Hey, Myles, I'm trying my move. Think my move will work on you. And he like, nah, kid, save that. We're going to need you. And I was like, hey, man, it's pretty interesting him saying that. Again, the throw that Shedeur made in the game, you see him, do this when it's Shedeur. I want to go back to a press conference a few weeks back. This was before the Dolphins game, where, they kind of interviewing Myles Garrett. He said something very interesting. Then I wanted to keep this clip for a situation like this where I could try to point out, because see, now there's certain terminologies and things that came out. So there's this terminology, the hungry dogs, right? If you ask me, the hungry dogs, I believe that pack is led by Shedeur Sanders, Gage Larvin, and a few other individuals. But the two most, because the first that we heard of this, the hungry dogs, was Shedeur Sanders. And the first person he mentioned was Gage Larvin. And that's his guy, the Hungry Dogs. So I want to play this clip of Myles Garrett giving, a response about a question he was asked. And then he makes a mention of some things that give him hope, that give him light, some things that he likes, if you will, that he's seeing or whatever, you know what I mean? Some stuff that basically just some stuff that kind of gives him hope, if you will. So let's kind of see, I believe this is the clip. Let's hear what he got to say.
Is there anything that you can do about that?
I try to focus on my side of the ball mostly. At the end of the day, I have no say-so on what happens on the offensive side. So, I stick to what I can do and what I can't control. And that's the defense and how we can improve. But one thing that does make me hopeful is the guys who are over there, especially the young guys who are hungry and ready to go, that want to make plays and who are urgent. That makes me hopeful.
Key buzzwords in there that I felt like he was saying. Well, you know what keeps me hopeful? The guys over there, the young guys. So he made sure that he said the young guys, buzzword, young. So the young guys, all right, hungry. So the young guys that are over there hungry, the hungry dogs, young guys, hungry dogs. Okay, wait a minute. Shedeur's in that. He fits both of those. He's young and he's hungry. He's young and he's part of the hungry dogs. He's been doing that the entire time he's been here. After practice, whoop, 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 the hungry dog session, that's his thing. And make plays. So the young guys that are hungry and want to make plays. I'm sorry, but Shedeur Sanders, if that don't describe Shedeur Sanders, I don't know what does. The young guy who's hungry and wants to make plays. I don't understand. To me, that's saying it without saying it. Because the three descriptions that you gave is precisely what you could use to describe one Shedeur Sanders. Not to mention, you put that with the fact that when you see the kid out there making plays, like you said, you that keeps you hopeful. When you see him out there doing that, that's part of the reason why you would probably be like, see, look at this. This is what's keeping me hopeful. Did you see what this kid just did? Look at that. And he's young, he's hungry, and he wants to make plays like this right here. Hey, this right here make me I'll sign a contract. I'll sign to be here. If I get a chance to see that on offense, I'll be here. I'm comfortable with being. I'm cool. I'll be here. Yep, I'll be here. I sure will. I'll be here. And again, I think it's really going to start because the one mistake that the Cleveland Browns and Jimmy Haslam can end up making, the one mistake that they can end up making is keeping Kevin Stefanski as the head coach for your football team. That is the one thing that can mess everything up. That's what can blow up your entire, new outlook for your franchise. Is keeping that guy around and having him do the same things that he's been doing with Shedeur inexplicably. That's going to mess everything up, if you ask me. You need to get a coach in here that is 100% on board with Shedeur Sanders moving forward. I even saw Deshaun Watson on the sideline getting with Shedeur, going through he looked excited to go through the stuff with Shedeur, like, yeah, boom, boom, boom. All right, so see right here, you didn't read that. You didn't see the man. You were staring down your receiver, and you didn't see the defender right here. Hey, look, this is how you could prevent that from happening going forward. See, look at this steal shot right here. See, look, he never moved. He never left the area. And then he was reading your eyes. He saw you the whole time. He was looking right at him. That's why he was there to pick the ball off. Yeah, that you got clean. You got to clean that up. But you rocking though. Do your thing. It was nice to see that from Deshaun Watson on the sideline. It was nice to see that. Clearly, it looks like he didn't embrace the kid. Not to mention, you would see just linemen, wide receivers coming over, being active, being engaged with him. Like it just looked like the team overall was like, hey, yeah, this is like we got a shot. Like this is what's up. Like we got a shot right here. We feel good. It just looked like yeah, we feel good about this. We got 12 out here. You know, I don't know. It could just be me, but I don't think it's just me. I think you could see that in the team. Even, with the defense, everybody talk about how the defense, oh, the defense. And yes, the defense, because Quincy Carrier a while ago before he switched, he's gotten a lot better now. But when I was in his live chat talking about, I'm like, bro, why are you blaming the defense? Defense been playing lights out all year long. The offense is so bad, and instead of you just admitting that the offense is bad and Kevin is bad, you want to just say, well, the defense should play better. It's like, no, defense is playing beautiful. The offense is trash, and Kevin Stefanski is trash. Defense, you keep your mouth closed about the defense. Don't say nothing about the defense. Now everybody, oh, the defense are so awesome. But y'all forget, man, a few weeks ago, y'all was talking about how the defense needs to do more. The defense needs to step up. The defense needs to close the deal. That's the type of buzzword y'all was using. The defense should have closed the deal in that game, and they didn't. No, the offense is the one should be scoring the points, not the defense, man. Y'all sound retarded. And then now all of a sudden the defense. You want to know why I think part of the reason another reason why I think the defense was so dominant and they had 1,100 sacks? Well, 10. I think it was 10 sacks they left with the total. You want to know part of the reason why I think they was doing that? It's because I think they finally had belief in the offense. They had belief. You could believe. You believed that at some point there was going to be a play made. You believed it. So even after he did throw the interception, the defense probably like, hey, let's hurry up and get the ball back. Let's get the ball back. Let's hurry up. Let's hold them. Let's stop them. And let's hurry up and get the ball back to this kid. Because we believe that he could be able to do something. He might not be the best quarterback in the world ever in the history of quarterbacks, whatever. But we have a belief that he might be able to make a play or two to put us in a better position than we've been in and week out up until this point. That will fire you up as a defense when you have a belief that the offense can actually possibly do something. Well, now I want to go tackle so I can tackle them and get the ball back to you, because we believe that if we give you the ball, you actually might be able to do something with it. When we've been watching this other person for 6-7 weeks, every time we give them the ball, don't nothing happen. So why would I believe that something going to happen when we give you the ball? But this kid right here, we believe that something might happen if we give him the ball. And then lo and behold, he proved it to be true. And that's even through the terrible play calling, because at one point late in the game, we had a 3rd and short. We took Quinshon Judkins off of the field. Then there was like this confusion with getting the play call in, and then we squandered away that 3rd and 4th down opportunity. When 3rd and short, why are you taking Quinshon Judkins off of the field? Leave him on the field, 3rd and short, run the ball. Or do that gimmick garbage that you did the entire game. 3rd and short, you want to get the first down? Take Shedeur out and run the Wildcat. You did it the whole game. You kept taking him out to run the Wildcat. So in 3rd and short, 3rd and 2, why did you take Quinshon Judkins out of the game? That's stupid. 3rd and 2, take Shedeur out. If anything, you was doing it the whole game for no reason anyway. So just take Shedeur out again and run the Wildcat and get the first down. Why not? Why you ain't just do that, man? Instead of trying to get cute, you take Quinshon out and then want to go empty set, and then we got confusion on the play, because I'm pretty sure everybody looking like, okay, why is we doing this? What is this? What are we doing? So throughout the, despite the offense just being, some of the play designs are just not up to date. Like I said, I feel like the play calling itself has gotten a little bit better with Reese, but a lot of the designs of the plays, just the designs, because again, it's Kevin's offense, because he came into the season calling the plays. We didn't come up with a whole new offense. We just changed the person who's looking at the sheet and calling what play when. That's the only thing we changed. But all of the play designs are still the same. And again, I think Kevin's play designs are absolutely terrible because he had designed plays where your best two pass catchers are running decoy routes and then you throwing the ball to Isaiah Bond. That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. Again, for me, I think if you put Shedeur with a better playbook, with just better play designs, he'll look even better than what he's looked already. Not to mention him getting the consistent first team reps and being the guy, feeling like he's the guy, knowing that he's the guy. I think you're going to unlock another level of Shedeur Sanders. Now, in closing, let me get to this as to why, again, Stefanski need to go and get on up out of here. Because I know I'm probably going to do a second part to this video because I'm going to have to go through, consume some content, hear what some of these beat reporters and beat writers that think they know everything, hear what they're going to say and how they're going to try to spin Shedeur's start and still try to cape for Dillon Gabriel coming back. Because, again, with what I saw, listen here, let me explain something to you. When Brian Daboll put Jackson Dart out there and then they saw what they saw, it wasn't spectacular by Jackson Dart, but they saw what they saw. And when they saw that, it was like, oh yeah, Russell Wilson, I'm sorry. We going with this kid. This is our guy. I'm sorry. But that's the exact same thing with Shedeur Sanders. When you saw that out there, it's like, okay, hey, look, if you got any type of football in your brain, what you seen out of Dillon Gabriel for 6 to 7 weeks compared to what you saw with Shedeur when he finally got just 1 week of first team reps, just 1 week of preparation, just 1 week of having the game plan designed around him. Just 1 week. Well, what I saw from that, I don't need to go back to Dillon Gabriel. And in my opinion, with all the fans who watched this and saw this, especially when you add the Shedeurians, is what they call them. When you put them on top of that, all them Colorado people and all that other stuff don't really care too much about the Browns, but they care about Shedeur, and it just so happens that Shedeur play with the Browns. If you put Dillon Gabriel back out there, man, they're going to be booing that kid from the moment he run out onto the field, they're going to be booing him. Every throw that he makes, they're going to be booing him. He could throw a touchdown pass. They probably still going to boo him just because they don't want to see any more of that, and rightfully so. Nobody should want to see any more of Dillon Gabriel. It should be just evidently clear that, I'm sorry, man, at least for the remainder of this season, I'll be trying to get a look at Shedeur and what this kid could do. I want to see if you can even improve even more, because from that half of football against the Ravens to this game against Las Vegas, even if people don't want to give you credit, because I'm going to talk about people not giving you credit, giving you side credit right here. That's just leading into that. Even if people don't want to give you credit, at the very least, what they have to admit is you look better than what you look in the Ravens game. And mind you, people was trying to convince us that the first team reps ain't going to make that big of a difference. Well, it sure looked to make a difference to me because he looked like a completely different quarterback. Now, the skill set and the tools were still there because even in that half against the Ravens, we saw him, make good throws. It was just cleaning up the running backwards, spinning around and all that other stuff, which he cleaned that up against the Vegas Raiders. In 1 week, he was able to clean that up. So clearly it's something that he's able to get out of his system. We was told that he can't clean that up, that he's always going to run backwards. Well, he didn't do that in the Raiders game. And he was getting pressure. He didn't run backwards. He evaded the pocket, manipulated the pocket, kept his eyes downfield, and made elite accuracy throws. So at the bare minimum, you got to say that you saw improvement from last week to this week, something that we haven't seen with Gabriel. In fact, Gabriel has gone in the opposite direction. His best game was the first one that he had against the Minnesota Vikings. He's gone down ever since then. Here's Kevin Stefanski with his rah-rah speech after the game is over with. First of all, the rah-rah thing, you could tell, like, if you listen, he sounds uncomfortable doing that. He's not a rah-rah guy. You know what I'm saying? And then let's hear it. Let's listen to Kevin after the game in the locker room talking to the team.
Stayed resilient together like I told you we needed to, right? Stay resilient together, and we fought together. How about Gage's big punt return on special team. How about Corey? Every single time you're out there pinning those guys doing your job. Great job. Offense wasn't perfect. How about that big play by Sam at the end? R&D, huge play. Huge play. Harold making a big play. And then another rookie making his first start. Nice job, Shedeur. Well done. There's that old saying, save the best for last. How about that fucking defense? Hell yeah. Holy is what I have to say about that. 10 sacks by our defense. 10 sacks. Okay? I got one ball in my hand. Okay, I got a guy, he's got to get a cold every week. Okay? He had a cold this week. Wasn't feeling himself. 3 sacks, which gives him 18 on the season through 11 games, which breaks his own Browns record. Myles Garrett. Come on, man.
Okay, so here's what I noticed from that. And, you know, a lot of people would take it out of context. Oh, no, it's not like that. You're overreacting, conspiracy theorist, blah, 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 blah. If you've ever been in a football locker room before, played a game, you know, anything like that, it ain't even had to be at a high level, man. Just if you've played football and been in the locker room before, actually put on the helmet and shoulder pads and been in the locker room before, there's a lot to take away from what he just said there. Because if you noticed, I mean, there was extremely high praise for everybody except one individual. So this is what I mean. He says, the punter, fantastic, amazing, every single time, pinning those guys deep. You know, we got Gage Larvin with the fantastic, beautiful punt return. Mind you, it was one punt return. It's just one punt return. Was it great? Was it fire? Yes. He made it seem like it was the most elite punt return ever in the world. Great. Just great super play on the punt return. You know, the punter pinning these guys back, just super great. Isaiah Bond, IB is what he called him. IB with the great, fantastic catch, the super phenomenal play. You know, we got Dylan Sampson. We got Sam with the great, super dynamic, great play. And then we got another rookie making his first start. Good job. What? So, wait a minute. So, Isaiah Bond, that was a super great, phenomenal play, catch by him. Okay, but who threw him the ball? It was Shedeur Sanders. So, if that was a super great, fantastic play by Isaiah Bond, so you didn't see Shedeur? You didn't see Shedeur? Because Shedeur had to evade a blitz, manipulate the pocket, scramble and move to his right, keep his eyes downfield, and then be able to, on the run, make the throw. And not only make the throw on the run, but the throw was so accurate that if Isaiah Bond had a little bit of balance, he would have scored a touchdown. Not to mention that's your longest pass play of the year at the time. That was your longest pass play of the year. Through actual air, so meaning like air travel time, that is your longest pass play of the year. So you credit Isaiah Bond for that in a big ups way. Oh, great play, fantastic play, super play. With Dylan Sampson, great play, fantastic play, super play. Oh man, great, elite. And then you was like, and we got another rookie making his start. Good job, Shedeur. And then how about that effing defense? Then you get to doing all this cussing. How about that effing defense? Holy effing SHIT. Oh yeah. The defense, 10 sacks, holy effing. That's what I got to say about that. How about that effing defense? Whoop, whoop. I mean, he is just rah-rahing it up. But the only person that he didn't rah-rah it up for was Shedeur. When it came to Shedeur, it was, we got another rookie making his first start. Good job, Shedeur. Why wasn't it? And then the rookie making his first start, the first rookie since 1995 to start a game and win for the Cleveland Browns. moving out of the blitz and manipulating the pocket and dropping that dart down there on Isaiah Bond. Way to go, Shedeur. I mean, that's the way you was talking about everybody else that you called out by name. Even the punter. The punter. I mean, he every time he pinned him down there. Great job, punter. Good punt return by Gage Larvin, and way to go, man. We couldn't have done it without that punt return. And we got another rookie making his first start. Good job, Shedeur. What? I'm sorry, man, but for me, that speaks volumes, okay? Because respectfully, even if you do only normally give out one game ball, I'm completely fine with the game ball going to Myles Garrett. I'm completely fine with that. But in this week in specific, I would have made an exception. Hey, this week, guys, we're going to give out 2 game balls instead of just 1. Because we got a guy over here, Myles Garrett, who broke records, who broke a record. But we also have another young man over here that broke a record. So we want to be able, and you notice how he said offense wasn't perfect. He made sure before he started, offense wasn't perfect. Well, no offense is perfect. No offense will ever be perfect. But the point is, the offense looked the best that it's looked all season long. And the first thing you want to say is, "Now, offense not perfect. Oh, well, what about how the offense was looking when you was calling the plays and Dylan Gabriel was out there? How was it looking then? Oh, okay. So I'm sorry, offense isn't perfect. No offense is perfect. But it's the best that the offense to look pretty much. For the first time, you actually believed that your offense could score points and that you was going to win this game. You believed that when you watch it. That's the first time you actually was watching and you believed that. You believed that it was going to happen. And you mean to tell me you got big praise? Let me try one more time. Just so it don't seem like I'm over exaggerating, because again, it's just, I mean, it's phenomenal to hear how he's talking about these other people.
Stayed resilient together, like I told you we needed to, right? Stay resilient together, and we fought together. How about Gage's big punt return on special teams?
Gage's big punt return on special teams.
How about Corey? Every single time you're out there pinning those guys doing your job. Great job.
How about Corey? Every single time you're out there pinning those guys doing your job.
Offense wasn't perfect. How about that big play by Sam at the end?
Offense wasn't perfect. Make sure you had to. How about that big play by Sam at the end? So again, big play. IB, huge play. Harold. IB, huge play, Isaiah Bond. Huge play. So not just a huge play, it was a huge play. Mind you, that's the only play he made the whole game. That's the only play he made for the most part. That's the only play he made for the whole game for the most part. Huge play.
Making a big play. And then another rookie making his first start. Nice job, Shedeur. Well done.
And another rookie making his first start. Nice job, Shedeur. Well done. Why wasn't it no? And and another rookie making his first start that was a part of that huge play, making a huge throw. It was just no. And another rookie making his first start. Good job, Shedeur. Well done. Kevin Stefanski, if you want to succeed and you want to be able to have you a franchise quarterback instead of a guy who only wants his guy, you need to get Kevin Stefanski the heck up out of here as soon as possible. In fact, I'd fire him now with what Shedeur put out there, because you kept telling me that the kid wasn't ready. You kept telling me, he needs to earn the first team. But first of all, no, you don't need, that's not the case. But even if that was, if you asking me, he didn't earn them first team reps. I'm sorry. If you want to be successful as an organization and as a football team, you got it. If you ask me, it looks like you got a chance to do it. But the only way that I think it's going to happen is you're going to have to get Kevin Stefanski out of the building immediately. Dogs on the couch. Sign off.